Okay, so let me take you through the first assignment. The first assignment says, please find a small bivariate data set, preferably from your own discipline, and produce a scatter plot. So this is easy using the graphics in any spreadsheet. So let me show you an example of how we might do this. So in Excel, I'm going to open a small data set that I've already created. Let me just find where I've placed my data set. So you will see, oops, it's giving me an Excel error, but let's go back to sheet 1. So let's expand this a little bit so we can see it more clearly. So you'll see I have 2 columns in Excel. In the first row, I have labeled which one is X and which one is Y. And then I have my 7 rows corresponding to 7 data points. So if I select this area, and then I go into Excel and I choose Insert Chart, and the particular chart I want is an XY scatter plot, then you'll see Excel creates this little graph for me. I can move the graph around, I can scale it, I can change it in different ways. So you can see this particular data set looks fairly close to linear, so it looks like I will get a reasonably good straight line fitting to this data set. So this graph will need to get put together with the data set in your output. So then it says, please use any statistics tool to calculate the best fitting regression line and test whether the population slope is 0. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, remember, testing whether the population slope is 0 is different to whether the estimated slope is 0. The estimated slope will almost never be 0. The question is it different enough from 0 relative to the standard error of b, s little b, in order for us to reject the null hypothesis? So I've given you a link to Microsoft web page telling you how to use the analysis toolpack in Excel. You don't have to use Excel. If you already know how to use SPSS or R or any other statistics package, you're welcome to use that. But I'm just showing you in Excel because this is a free tool. So first of all, in Excel, you need to go to the Tools menu, and you'll see there's an option called Excel Add-ins. If you choose Excel Add-ins, the add-ins available should include the Analysis Toolpack. You need to make sure there is a tick mark against Analysis Toolpack. Click OK. Then when you go back to the tools, one of the menu items should show Data Analysis. And then within Data Analysis, you're looking for the one that's labeled Regression. Okay, so what we need to do is to first of all tell it where X and Y are. So if you click on the spreadsheet icon under Input Y Range, you're going to tell it, let me just get out of this first. I forgot to move my graph out of the way. If I move my graph out of the way, and then I repeat this. So I want to go to, where are we again? Tools, Data Analysis, Regression. So I want to click my Y range, so I need to choose the cells that include my Y. So that means in this case it's cells B1 to B8. I go back and click the spreadsheet icon again. I need to click on the labels option. This tells Excel that the first row contains a label. Now I need to click on the icon for the X range. Select A, 1 to 8 in my case. That's where my X data is. Go back, click on that icon. So Excel now knows the Y range is B1 to B8. The X range is A1 to A8. I don't want to require the constant is 0. I can change the confidence level if I wish, because it will give me confidence limits. The output options this way, it's going to put it in a new worksheet inside my workbook. And I can choose different residual outputs. So we're going to select them all. We're also going to choose the normal probability plot. This is a way to check whether the residuals follow a normal distribution. So I'll click OK to all of those. It has now created a new sheet for me. I need to expand this a bit so you can see more clearly. This is my output. This is what I need for the assignment. It's telling me that the R value is 0.977. The R squared is 0.956. So quite a lot of the variability is being explained by the linear model, meaning there isn't much variability left after I fit the linear model. And then down here is the output I need for the statistical test. It's telling me that the coefficient for X is 2.078. The standard error for that coefficient is 0.199. The t ratio then is 10.428. And the observed p-value is 0.0001. In other words, we're quite sure that this relationship is not due to chance, even though it's a relatively small data set. It's also showing me the residuals for each data point. And if you want, you can look at these graphs over here. Let's have a look at what they are. Let's scroll these down here so I can see. So for example, the third one here, this is showing me the X residual plot. Let's scale this down a little bit so I can see everything. So if I make these squares, so we've got residual plot, the XY plot with my fitted line, and my normal probability plot. So the X line fit plot, this is the equivalent of the scatter plot, but this time not only does it show the X and Y plot, which is the blue points on this graph, it also shows me the predicted Y's. So the orange squares are my predicted Y's. The residual plot we will talk more about next week. This is showing me the residuals for each of my data points plotted against X, so I can see whether there is any pattern there. It's not very easy to see a pattern there. This is a very small data set, it's only 7 data points. Over here, the normal probability plot, we will talk about this next week. Ideally, this plot should show the points along a diagonal line. This is comparing the residuals against what I expect the residuals to look like if it's actually the residuals are from a normal distribution. So we'll talk about that next week. So these plots here at the bottom you don't need to include in your output. I'm just showing you now how you can get these from Excel as part of the fitting of a regression line. Okay, so just to remind you, please do the analysis yourself. Don't just cut and paste an analysis you find on the internet. Please put your name, department, and student number inside the assignment so it's visible when I print it. And please make sure you upload your assignment in A4 PDF format. So do not upload a spreadsheet, please. I want you to remove or copy the parts from Excel into a file and then print that file to a PDF format so I can directly print it. And please put it in an A4 format so I can easily print it. Okay, thank you very much.